Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to a look ahead to F1's pre-season. All the dates you need, at least all the dates have been confirmed at time of recording for launches, testing and all that lovely stuff as we hurtle towards yet another season of racing. A season where, having spent about 4 years talking about them, we finally get to see F1's new generation of cars. Let's just hope it all lives up to the hype. Let's start by having a look then at all the car launches that are scheduled so far. Aston Martin will pull the covers off its 2022 Challenger at an online event on February 10th, but Otmar Safnauer won't be in attendance as, in case you missed it, he left the team in January. But Mike Crack is his replacement and will be there for the launch, and it is also reported that BWT will not be on the car this year, and so we could, hopefully, see the pink flashes drop from that livery. McLaren will follow Aston and will be showing off the MCL36 in a massive launch, which is also set to include their IndyCar, Extreme E and Esports teams. And that is all happening on Friday, February the 11th. There are some rumours floating around, by the way, that we could be set to see a permanent Gulf livery on the new car. And oh my days, I would absolutely love that. It is just a rumour at this stage, but if we all just really wish really hard, it might happen because that's how the world works. Anyway, AlphaTauri are currently scheduled to be next launching the AT03 on Valentine's Day. That's obviously Monday, February 14th, and gets me out of having to remember that. And the teaser they released currently has the tagline, "The Style of a New Era," which is interesting. We'll see what all that means soon, but I really hope it's another chance to hear Franz Tost discuss fashion. That is always a pleasure. Ferrari are giving us our first look at the F175 online on the 17th of February. Why have they gone with the name F175 for the car, I hear you say? I mean, I don't, but you know. Long story short, it's the company's 75th anniversary. It's as simple as that. And I just love how Ferrari refuses to stick to uniform naming conventions. Hopefully, one day we'll get an SF Gary or something. Also worth noting that some rumours claim we could see a darker shade of red this year, similar to what we saw at Mugello in 2020 as a nod to the past, and of course we'll soon find out. Mercedes are set to launch the W13 at a special digital launch event on February 18th, and that will be followed at Silverstone with the usual shakedown. And hopefully by the time we get to launches, or at least the Mercedes launch, we will have 100% confirmation on who will be racing for them in 2022. And it is expected, don't forget, and I think has been more than hinted at quite a bit over the last few months, that we will see a return to the traditional silver livery this year. Alpine are pulling the covers off the A522 on Monday, February 21st, as the next phase of L Plan is revealed. And with talk that Otmar Safnauer is joining the team and taking BWT with him, it's actually going to be really interesting to see if and how they incorporate the pink into that new livery. If they do have to, I hope it looks okay, because last year's design was so good and I would love them to stick with that. And at time of recording, Alfa Romeo are the last team to ask us to save the date, as they have announced that the C42 will be launched on February 27th, which curiously is after the Barcelona test. And that will be apparently a digital launch with photos and video. I mean, the car will still run in Barcelona, but they're going to be running a special livery, and we'll get to see the full proper one at the launch on the 27th. And just super quickly, I know I've been talking a lot about liveries, but I'm fully expecting this launch season to basically be teams showing off their 2022 livery on a base model of the 2022 car, possibly similar to the one that F1 keep using. There might be some stuff on there worth keeping an eye on, but I think there's going to be a lot of stuff still very secretive between launches, testing, and probably even the first race. You never know, though. Maybe somebody will spring a surprise and give us exactly the car they're going to be running in Bahrain at launch, but I'd be very surprised if that's the case. Now, if there have been any other dates announced between me saying this and when I come to edit the video, then I will pop a graphic on screen now with those dates. So there it is, or maybe it isn't there. I don't know. We're just waiting basically on Red Bull, Williams and Haas. And I will be covering, once again, most launches this year. However, unfortunately, I won't be able to do videos for the Aston or McLaren launches or anything that launches on the week commencing the 7th, because I'm going to be in London all week. But we will be live on Sunday, February 13th to have a good old chat about them. So there will be some coverage, but not on the day those launches happen that week. And I will say as well, keep an eye on Haas. They do like to throw out some images without warning, and there are some rumours they may even launch this week. It is also worth noting that February the 14th isn't just the date of AlphaTauri's launch and Valentine's Day. It is also a key date for your diary for another reason. The FIA released a statement on January 29th saying that no decision had yet been made on the outcome of its investigation into the events of Abu Dhabi, but did reiterate that the findings of its detailed analysis will be presented to the F1 Commission on February 14th, and that's following open discussions with the drivers. Now, we may not hear anything official on what has been discussed and or decided before the World Motorsport Council meet, and they will be rubber stamping that decision on March 18th, practice day, by the way, for the first race in Bahrain. However, we may well hear rumours and could even get to know in the days that follow whether or not Lewis Hamilton will be staying in F1 for 2022. So definitely save that date in your mind or write it down or save it in your calendar or whatever. Moving on, and I have a riddle for you, but I'll have to answer it because this isn't live, so you'll have like 2 seconds to answer. Are you ready for this? So when is a pre-season test not a pre-season test? Yep, that's right, when it's a pre-season pre-test shakedown testing event. Oh, F1, I bloody love you. Yes, the dates for pre-season testing have been confirmed, with events taking place in Spain and Bahrain. The Bahrain in Spain stays mainly in the anyway. The first test is set to be held in Barcelona for 3 days between February 23rd and 25th and has been billed as a pre-testing track session, and F1, who clearly think we're stupid, are saying it's a traditional shakedown for the teams, even though some teams have already announced their own shakedowns and we don't traditionally see teams shake down on track together. But as is traditional with this traditional event that isn't traditional, there will be no live TV coverage, no fans, and there won't even be any live timing. However, never fear, written media will be in attendance, as will broadcasters like Sky Sports, and they will keep us all updated. Plus, F1 will be releasing times, even though it's not a test, at the end of each day. Guys, let's stop with the BS. It is just a test. A test being held behind closed doors and with a new name, but it's a test nevertheless. That is it. The second, but officially first official pre-season test will be held in Bahrain, and that will again be over 3 days between March 10th and 12th. And that one will have fans in attendance, will include live TV coverage, and will have live timing as well. For those who would like to know, as of right now, I have no idea what my plans are for the first test, because without live timing or anything, that's going to be difficult to be live for. It'll just be me talking nonsense, but then again, that's what I do anyway, so yeah. But I will, at the very least, be live across the 3 days of the Bahrain test with updates on the times, news, and probably pot noodles, as well as a lot of waffle. So if you fancy listening to me and some guests try to fill up to 8 hours of testing with a load of nonsense and waffle, then you are as mad as we are. And if you are as mad as we are, then welcome. But make sure you subscribe as well and click the notification bell so you don't miss when we do go live. If you've not been there before for them, it's always good fun, although you'll get sick of me saying no on-track footage for obvious copyright reasons. It's kind of my testing catchphrase. And of course, once testing is out of the way, the racing can start proper with the first race of the season in Bahrain, just 1 week after the second test. And it's lights out for the first time in 2022 on Sunday, March the 20th. It's a back-to-back start to the season, with the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix just a week later across the weekend of March 25th to 27th. That's 3 events in as many weeks: testing, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. I cannot wait. What a start to the season. A few other calendar dates that are well worth a mention include the return of the Australian Grand Prix with a new look Albert Park circuit, of course. Can't wait to see how that affects the racing. And that is currently scheduled for April 10th. The first ever F1 race in Miami is on May 8th, and we are, as of right now, set to see the Canadian Grand Prix return to the calendar on June 19th. That is one of my favourite races of the year, so I'm so hyped to see that one back. I really hope it can go ahead. The British Grand Prix is earlier than usual, although not as early as Bernie once trialled. April in the UK. Genius move. But the race at Silverstone for 2022 will be taking place on the 3rd of July. Hungary on July 31st is the final race before the summer break, and that means that with Austria, France and Britain thrown in, that's 4 races in July. Nice one. And then we've got Belgium, the other side of the summer break, on August 28th. Let's just hope we get a thriller in Spa, although it will be hard to top the race there last season. Whoa, what drama. Singapore and Japan are currently scheduled to return on October 2nd and 9th respectively, and the season ends in Abu Dhabi a few weeks earlier than we've seen over recent years because of the World Cup, and that final race takes place on November 20th. If you're wondering about sprint races and when they will be held as I sit here and record this, the answer is we just don't know yet. There is some talk that due to a dispute between teams about the cost cap, there won't actually be any in 2022, which would be so, I want to say sad. Yeah, so watch this space with that one, and hopefully we'll have some news either way soon. So they are just some of the dates to make a note of ahead of pre-season and the 2022 F1 season proper. So much coming up, and I can already feel the hype building for this new era. Fingers crossed, as I said at the start, that the new regulations do live up to the hype and we get an absolutely incredible season of racing. It's that time of year again where I just start to get a little bit giddy about it all. After all, it is basically Christmas for F1 fans. That is it for this one then, but let me know in the comment section down below which launches you are most looking forward to this year. I really want to see if McLaren go with the Gulf livery. That will make my pre-season. That and AlphaTauri as well, actually, because they've nailed the livery for me in the last couple of seasons. If I'm being totally honest, I'm excited for all of them. There you go. Now, I will be back soon with another video, but in the meantime, if you did enjoy this one, then please do leave a like, as it really does help the channel in its fight with the algorithm, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos or streams. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.